There you go. Now it's recording.
Weirdly, the Zencaster doesn't look like it failed to me, but the OBS looked like it did because I can't see the slides.
I also can't see the slides, fuckface.
Well, yeah, that's because I haven't started the thing yet.
Oh, okay.
You
It was
incompetent
start the
buffoon.
virtual camera.
Okay, yes,
sure.
you're probably...
Yeah, you're not going to get to see my face on this one, and there's a beautiful, intriguing reason for this. There's a magical reason for this.
There's a magical reason.
Yeah,
there's a magical reason for this, which is also that I'm trying to save bandwidth.
When you hear the reason,
you're probably wondering why I have to save.
You have to say bandwidth because my fucking internet is extremely bad, and it's 4G.
Poor, yes.
Yeah, which means that like even after a lot of fucking around with it, we've gotten it to a point where it's just about acceptable, but the upload speed and more importantly latency is very high, which means
frowny
the
face.
lag is atrocious.
All right, well the sync point's gonna be a hoot.
Yo, yeah.
I was about to say, I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1 mark and clap.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1 mark.
All right, that didn't sound that bad, actually.
Yeah, see, it's improving, right? Like the more time you give my wife to try and fix things, the better the things will be. I have learned to trust in my wife. Yes.
My favorite part of Tor was just running around looking for Corinne, saying, "Has anyone seen Borat voice my wife?" And without fail, Roz would go, "My wife," and I'm like, "Not your wife, bud." For all intents and purposes, I'm your wife.
Your work wife, yeah.
Yeah,
listen, we've been over this. I would marry Roz if I had to.
You have the married couple energy.
What is this podcast but a polycule?
Let me
tonic.
Don't talk to me about polycules right now. So the reason why I sound like this, and the reason why Liam before we started recording went, "Are you sure you don't want to sort of punt on this one because you sound like you're dying?" is because my girlfriend's wife, love that woman, deeply fond of her, took me out for dinner before the recording, and she took me for dinner to the restaurant where she works, where everyone loves her because she's an angel. And because everyone loves her, customer service workers, restaurant workers like to express that love by giving you free drinks. And she doesn't drink. So I have been drinking for 2 people across dinner and now had to run uphill in the dark, freezing cold to get to work. That's why I sound like this. When my lungs stop burning, I'll be okay.
I thought you were sad. No, kill her.
I was having too good of a time. This is what I've been doing with your Patreon.
Ruin her.
That's not even true. She paid. Like
No sympathy. I thought you weren't feeling good. No, kill her dead. Kill her dead.
I really cannot stress enough my fondness and affection for my girlfriend's wife, who is a beautiful woman, and all of whose drinks I consumed.
I had a similar experience to this in Pittsburgh, at least the running up the hill part.
Yep.
It's just
the time you threw up.
The guy serving you who is like, her friend is like, okay, you don't want to see the dessert menu, that's fine. Do you want a couple of limoncellos? And I, knowing that what this means for me is drinking 2 limoncellos, go, yes.
Yeah, it's not like physically possible, and is also very rude to refuse a limoncello.
Yeah,
free limoncello.
Although that said, no, I thought you weren't feeling good. I thought you were sad. I all my sympathy is gone.
No,
Ross,
first
make this
time
run
in a minute
17
I
hours.
Been. Okay, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, everyone's in a good mood. All right, excellent.
Fuck you, buddy.
Fuck you for being happy.
Yeah.
It's a podcast that thrives on shared misery.
Yeah.
Oh, it sure does, November.
Hello, and welcome to Well, There's Your Problem. It's a podcast about engineering disasters with slides. I'm Justin Rosniak. I'm the person who's talking right now. My pronouns are he and him. Okay, go.
I'm November Callie. I'm the person who's talking now. My pronouns are she and her. I'm very sorry. I try not to get drunk before work unless it's a bonus episode. But in this case, the circumstances were beyond my control. Yay, Liam.
No, they weren't beyond your control.
They were beyond my control.
They were beyond her control. All right, fine. I'll take that. I've been hammered drunk recording this before. That's no big problem. Fuck. What's my name? Hi, I'm Liam McAnderson. My pronouns he and him, right? Yeah.
It already has bonus episode energy.
Well, I think this one is a little bit of a silly one, I will say. What you see in front of you is a car.
That's a van, dumbass.
It's a minivan. This is a minivan.
A minivan is a type of car.
No, a minivan is a type of van.
On there, smort.
Smort.
Yes, it says smort. There's
actually it says it in the notes. No, it's not. This is a. I'm gonna. Oh, you already downloaded the PowerPoint, so I can't interfere with you.
SMQRT.
There's a subtle line here. It actually says smart, but it looks like smart.
No, it doesn't. Smart.
That line's coming out at an angle that says squirt.
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 Yeah, I'm just gonna get the squirt home. 1 second. Yeah, I'm just gonna. Let me just call
I gotta leave. I gotta bounce. Let me just call it squirt.
Even better than the South Lake Union trolley.
Yeah, I get my.
Remembers that one.
I get my burrito taxi to my house by a squirt eats
via squirt.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like to share a squirt with her. I hardly know her. What?
Horrible.
Well, it's not that bad. It's just urethral fluid.
This
yeah,
is a car branded as a transit vehicle.
It's a van.
It's not.
If we were transphobic,
I feel like it very much
this
is
could be
supposed to
the
look
episode
like
where we could do 1 billion I actually identify as a bus jokes. But we're woke, so we're not going to do that.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
I identify as one of those nice conversion vans from Explorer with the TV in the back and the couch. And I bet their couch works, motherfuckers. But they didn't have bras.
I actually identify
at the fucking Amish.
I identify as a car made by a communist country that no longer exists, that had to make like the headlamps in a separate part of it for representation reasons and doesn't work at all.
I haven't figured out my van sona yet. I gotta work on that.
You need to study the sacred texts of Cars 2, and Planes.
Yes.
Not Cars 3, though.
The esoterica, like Pixar's Metros. They almost produced it. It didn't happen.
Made it. I saw the concept art too.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked dope. Oh well. But anyway, so a bunch of people figured out how we could take some cars and say they were public transit. On
it's
today's
an ancient
episode,
technique called lying.
Yes.
Oh, yes, with this newfound technology called speeding.
Yes. Well, that does speed up the transit. On today's episode, we're going to talk about microtransit. But first, we have to do the goddamn news.
I want the record to show that there was a crispy timing on the news drop for a drunken woman.
Oh yeah, you did a good job there.
Thank you.
So does anyone remember the California Forever people who are going to build a new city somewhere in the middle of nowhere?
Solano.
Their final, yes. Their final plans came out recently. Before they hold the big referendum, the idea being, okay, if we just change the zoning, we can build the perfect community.
And
we're going to be the ones to do it, right?
Can you, Devin, can you flash up in the edit, Hieronymus Bosch's The Harrowing of Hell, please?
Oh, right. The California housing policy.
Yeah.
Because, California Central Valley, most impoverished part of California, has had no investment in it. But what these guys want to do, notably, isn't investment. It's just kind of vibes, as I understand it.
It's a weird plan. I mean, it's not actually. I don't know where the Central Valley begins and ends. This is sort of like north of San Francisco.
The less
like
you know
just
about
across
California, the
river
happier
from
you are,
like,
my guy.
whatchamacallit, I want to say Richmond, something like that. Um, it's supposed to be this like sort of new, like dense, like housing thing, and then there's going to be businesses, and there's going to be, we're going to be able to build any kind of building you want, as opposed to having to be constrained with zoning. Although there's a little bit of zoning.
It's
One of the things
interesting.
I've noticed. Oh, you go first.
Okay, sure. It's interesting reading these people's tweets. It gets a bit Anduril and they get a bit NatSec brained because if you see on the sort of bottom left of this plan here, technically this has access to the Pacific in the form of a bunch of like boggy swamps or whatever.
Yes.
And all of them are like, hey, we could build like an AI shipyard downstream and like dredge this, and you could use this for some like NatSec stuff, which is strange.
Big shipyard. This right now is a bunch of like pasture, I want to say. This isn't even like Central Valley, like sort of intensive agriculture, which I think should be obliterated. This is just pasture land right now. I don't know what they do with it. I've never been to this part of California.
Don't go to California as a rule, my guy.
Yeah. The one thing I thought was interesting about this plan is, this is supposed to be, again, dense, walkable urbanism that's illegal to build in most American cities. Guess what they did not put in?
A train station?
That's right, a train station.
Don't need it, just walk there.
Yeah.
Saves weight.
Have you seen The Long Walk? Well, now you can replicate it by going to Solano.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. There is a railroad line here, which they plan to use as like a spur to bring freight in. Maybe they get 2 or 3 cars a week to whatever tech industries are over there. I don't think those guys use a lot of material in a way that a railroad would make sense. You know who owns this railroad? Is right over here. Hold on, I lost the cursor. There we go. Right about here. This entire line is owned by the Western Railway Museum.
Okay, sure.
That's their only access in and out.
Talk about living history,
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get a really like curated list of locomotives working this.
Yeah, you're gonna have they're gonna have to go out with the little steeple cab and go pick up the freight cars and drag them into the ultra high tech city.
Such that it is, yes. Roz and I
think they got a steam locomotive too, but they gotta restore it.
Really covering their bases, yeah.
Yeah.
Just reaching a kind of compromise between these tech chuds and these foamers in the sense of like you get to drive your steam engine, but we get to put a bunch of neon on the sides to make it look cyberpunk, and you have to wear like tech wear.
Yeah, like once a
week.
Those
we Nike
go
jackets that weighs
Pacific.
3 ounces. Yeah.
We go up to the Union Pacific interchange once a week and pick up 5 box cars at graphics cards.
The question is,
not opposed to that.
Not even box cars. It's just like hoppers.
Bring back SLI.
It's like a gondola.
How do like coal cinders respond to the fabric of an acronym jacket? Like I assume well.
You gotta wear only cotton on the foot plate.
No, what if I'm wearing this like cool tech fabric? It's fine. It's fine. It's the future. My funniest example of this is there's this one brand called I think Volleybach. I don't know how they want me to fucking pronounce that, but they make like kind of like jerk off motion future clothes, right? And one of the things that they make is a jacket that costs like $1,000 because it's made in like with like copper fibers woven through it. So I will say this: it looks
just a big
incredible.
Compression sock. Okay,
it looks incredible, right? Because it looks like a big sheet of copper with a zip on the front. But I think every so often about the kind of hubris of, well, how did he die? Well, where he was walking around in the thunderstorm in his copper jacket.
Just
Yeah, I was thinking that, or you get like a very small hot cinder hits the clothing, and then immediately the heat is transferred to your entire body.
or
And
you
you
get
get
skin
hypothermia
poisoning like
and die.
Goldfinger. Yes.
I guess technically this is a plug. It's not sponsored content, but it's technically me going, hey, these clothes look good, but are conceptually dumb as hell and really expensive. So if you want
But
a
I sure
jacket
would
that you
like
can
one.
be like electrocuted in and have $1,000 to spare.
Yeah.
Copper jacket. Oh, I like
Yeah.
when I search copper jacket. It comes up with Palmer Lucky.
Oh god, of course he's the kind of person who's into this.
Yeah, Volleyball copper jacket, Palmer Lucky edition. Yeah.
Yeah, oh god. He's gonna be the first guy whose copper jacket gets like Statue of Liberty color just because he doesn't wash.
Well,
I will say this. I don't know what's going to happen with the whole tech bro Greenfield City situation. I will say go to Western Railway Museum before they either get destroyed by tech bros or receive a huge windfall of money. I don't know. One of those two things is going to happen.
I kind of
maybe
back
both.
them to I back them as a kind of Fallout style faction or a New Order style faction, primarily train based, who are going to defeat Solano.
Oh, that'd be really funny.
oh,
That'd be
fun. I like that.
you gotta start like a Mad Max style like war rig, but with old interurbans.
Train City.
Oh, Miles will have a field day. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but in other news, new Fetterman rising.
This fucking dipshit.
I said this on Twitter. I am going around America like Johnny Appleseed with a bunch of apology forms for Americans to fill out for making fun of the Your Party shit. Because not so easy to build a left that isn't stupid, is it?
Apparently, yeah.
No. They want $175 for a t-shirt?
I'm excited for you to be mad at this brand for the rest of the episode. Yeah.
Fuck you.
Graham Plattner.
Oh.
He's a Mainer. He's running for Senate in Maine.
He is a
what you call
dipshit.
it? He was
and possibly a Nazi. Who's to say?
He's the woke troop.
He's the woke troop who also worked for Blackwater. He's the woke PMC, not professional managerial class, the other kind.
The PMC stands for pronouns now.
Yeah. Pronoun military contractor.
Just on the tack vest, you've got the pronoun patch as you're leaning out of the kind of up armored Suburban to like shoot into crowds for no reason. Yeah, maybe a guy who joined Blackwater back in the day isn't that woke, or maybe he's woke.
Not even back in the day. Wasn't it like 2017?
Yeah.
I think he's definitely like, I would say, currently he's woke, probably, I think. But I could see this guy pulling a Fetterman, right? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice.
They found a bunch of his.
I can't vote in Maine.
They found a bunch of his old Reddit posts, which never post on Reddit. But in fairness, I wouldn't be stupid enough to run for office, and I mean ever. But if I did and they found my tweets, I couldn't be mad. They found a bunch of his old Reddit posts, a bunch of which were like, yeah, I wish I could have
the implications for the space program.
Yeah, my God. Like, I wish I could have fought in like the US in like secret invasion of Nicaragua or some shit like that. Where I'm like,
why?
Man, what? I also found out he was an instructor for the fucking what's the like arm the left guys? What's it called? The like the left gun people. I want to say Socialist Majority Caucus, but that's a DSA. SRA, thank you.
Socialist,
the
SRA,
yeah.
Socialist Rifle.
Yeah. He was an SRA instructor. And if you've ever had a criticism of the SRA that they were kind of like politically incoherent, this here is your example number one as well. So this is cool.
People who belong to the SRA are very stinky.
But most of all, I mean, we're going to get yelled at for that, but it's like, man, I don't know, impose some party discipline or something. But most of all, the reason why we're laughing at this guy is because of his cool Celtic dog tattoo, which is a cover-up of his Waffen-SS Totenkopf tattoo.
Yeah, it was very, very much a Totenkopf, and he seemed to be aware that it was.
Yeah, of course he was.
This is one of the things I could.
Of course he was.
I could understand if you're a stupid Marine in 19 getting that tattoo, but you should probably get that laser.
But you should have covered that up
before you run for office.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
He said that he got it drunk
at the very
on
least,
shore
just
leave.
get the Punisher logo, you fucking idiot.
Well, that's cop coded, and one thing you do learn from his Reddit is that he does authentically hate cops, which cool. But apparently he said he got this on shore leave in Croatia drunk, which I believe instantly. The problem is,
yes.
Of a
Marine getting a tattoo of an SS logo in Croatia. I believe that that's something you could do by mistake. I also believe that's something you would do on purpose. So it's really much of a muchness to me. And then keeping it for the next 20 years or whatever is really sick shit.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Also, since it seems again from the old Reddit post that at some point he became aware of what it was.
Yeah, having. Here's the thing:
look.
if I had a Nazi tattoo on me and I became aware that I had a Nazi tattoo on me, I would count that day as probably one of the worst experiences of my life. And
I would probably chop off my arm. I wouldn't wait for for lasering off. I'd be like, all right, we gotta. It's just
3 a.m. drunk driving to the nearest tattoo place, holding someone at gunpoint to make them cover it up.
Give me your lasers.
Also, I wouldn't do any of this cute Celtic fucking runic shit either. Especially if it was a Nazi tattoo.
Knocking on the door, basically. Yeah.
Just black it out, you sick fuck. But so again, I would say
that accent came in heavy and strong there.
Regardless of whatever this guy's politics may or may not be, I would suggest that this shows a severe deficiency in judgment, the likes of which might be acceptable for a podcaster, but fucking not for a senator. Jesus Christ. He's ahead in the polls.
I don't think anyone
checked.
Yeah, he's ahead in the polls. I mean, I don't think this guy should be, the great white hope of the left, emphasis on white.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, because main localism, they've all they all have some kind of prion disease you can only get from lobsters out there. And so they're like, fuck yeah, give me the woke Sturmbannführer or whatever. And I'm happy for him to represent Innsmouth in the Senate,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe we'll be proven wrong, but I don't think so. I think this guy is gonna.
I don't think we've ever been.
This
wrong
guy
on
is gonna
show.
Fetterman hard somehow.
No, it's gonna be worse because at least Fetterman, when we elected him, was not. I don't know.
He wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
there were signs.
I mean, we made a mistake. We made a mistake. I'll be the first to tell you, but
yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing: we've always on Fetterman been like, okay, sure, he seems cool or whatever at the time, but Liam doesn't like him. So we were saved from total embarrassment by that. So thank you, Liam.
No, I don't think so. We were not saved from total embarrassment.
Were we not? I remember us being like, Liam doesn't like him. Fuck. Okay.
No, I did like him. That's the worst part.
Yeah, you got a picture with him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I ran after to get it. That was before he went full fuckface.
At least Zoran's always going to be good. At least Zach Polanski's always going to be good. You can always trust all politicians to do the right thing, always, forever.
Yes, yeah.
Under no circumstances attempt to build like a broad-based party thing that doesn't rely on individual personalities. Don't do that.
Yeah, no. We need individual personalities. Individual action is how you do politics.
That's right.
That's a factual truth.
Right. You kind of wait until the counter ticks up and you generate a JFK.
Yeah, exactly. Never build a broad-based movement. Just do individual action. Or I don't know. You could. Well, the weird thing about this guy is I keep hearing stuff about why is the left supporting this guy, and it doesn't really seem to be the left that's supporting this guy.
No, he's weirdly a new generation establishment dem from like the Pod Save Johns, like the guys who weirdly now aren't
bat for this motherfucker. Yeah.
Aren't the establishment but want to be, so that they can, I guess, remold the Democratic Party in their image, which will be God only knows how different. I assume not very.
They've been disestablished.
Yeah,
and I think that's wrong. That's why I'm a anti-disestablishmentarianist.
The long years in exile for the Pod Save Johns. Did you see the Washington Post review of Karine Jean-Pierre's book? Which was just like,
did not know.
I highly recommend this to anyone who enjoys Schadenfreude, because her book is like, Biden didn't do anything wrong, Kamala didn't do anything wrong, both of them were betrayed by party interests, and that's why question mark. And for once, she actually gets called on this stuff, and this review just takes the whole thing apart in a way that's really, really satisfying to read. I'm sure it won't change anything.
I hate these fucking people.
Yeah. Speaking of individual action, the East Wing of the White House is gone.
Get wrecked is pretty good.
We've all got friends, we've all got mutuals for whom this stuff is meaningful, and who will genuinely be like, it's the people's house. And I respect the strength of their convictions. However,
do it again, Canada.
God damn America with 3 Ks.
God damn America.
Finished off the rest of it. It's a terrible building anyway. The White House should continue to exist only as a Hitman Blood Money level.
That's not wrong, but I don't know. I like the architecture of DC by and large, because I'm stupid and a rube.
I do not.
Demolish all the federal government bit, give DC local sovereignty, and then move the federal government to the central point of the United States, which is like a dirt field in fucking, I don't know where, Wyoming Kansas, possibly, and build a beautiful modernist Oscar Niemeyer style capital there. That's my opinion.
Sure. It's gonna be like Denver or somewhere.
Yeah.
No, so Donald John Trump, who is president of these United States of America
with 3 Ks,
has seen fit to demolish the East Wing of the White House, the East Wing being a 1942 addition to the White House, which was, according to some sources, largely built to conceal the construction of a bunker underneath the White House.
Yeah, the East Wing hasn't been pulling its weight ever. It's where the First Lady's stuff is.
Yeah, this is true. The East Wing was not, it was not a very good building. I will say this. I'm going to be honest. I was talking to a friend of the podcast, June, a while back about this before it was like, it suddenly happened. Like, yeah, I think Trump has a few points about the whole tent situation. Because we're both familiar with stupid real estate guys. And, okay, he's demolishing it to put up this huge new stupid ballroom. I didn't think it would happen so quick, though. I figured they would, get through some kind of process and it would,
they
stall
can't
out.
Have, like permits or anything for it. They're just doing it, which does not.
My question is whether they legally need permits.
I don't know.
Because of federalism.
Yeah. I don't think they can do it anyway.
If it's if it were the Capitol building, because I looked this up, I was like, surely the architect of the Capitol has something to say here. No, that's only for the Capitol complex. Everything else, they can apparently just do what they want.
I will say, no one's gonna get food stamps in November, so that does piss me off.
I want the wokest Democratic president to take that kind of knowledge that the president can just do whatever the fuck they want to the White House and really get extra with it, you know?
Get really weird
go
with
to
it.
town. Yeah.
But I mean, listen, the East Wing, I'm not historically attached to it. You have to be the kind of person who cares about like first lady history to care about that, or the kind of person who cares about the norms.
Yeah.
I dread to think what Melania was using the East Wing for. Like, what kind of sick freak shit was going on in there, though?
Nazi clones.
I wonder if that's where the Christmas trees were. Although I think that was on the corridor to the West Wing. I think the corridor to the East Wing, I think, was actually historic. Most of that is gone.
You go into the East Wing and all of a sudden it starts looking like the bits of Control where the fucking hiss is really going. Yeah, I don't know. I personally, I don't care, other than in the sense that it kind of seems like there will not be free elections in 2028.
Yeah,
I would very much like people to get their food stamps, so they stop bothering me at work.
Yeah,
this is very much sort of a symbolic situation. I mean, he did this during the ongoing government shutdown, which I don't know at this point. Maybe it just be permanent government shutdown. Who knows?
Yeah.
No one wants those Epstein files to get out. So this is I mean, symbolically very, very disturbing, but also I think factually it was a shitty building. Get rid of it.
And I mean, in fairness, like as we've seen, just randomly adding or subtracting to the White House is just a kind of presidential whim historically, you know? Like
it's kind of funny.
Yeah, and people will be like, oh, well, they cut down fucking Chester A. Arthur's magnolia trees or whatever, and I'm like, okay.
Well, they got rid of the what is it? The Jacqueline Kennedy Gardens.
That one does piss me off a bit in the sense of like it's too ugly to like be allowed to continue to exist. Which
I mean, and also the gardens, they'll just probably replant them when they finish this project. I
turning the kind of like rose garden into like, not that I was hugely attached to the rose garden or whatever, but turning it into like this kind of patio seating thing with where you can get like a chocolate lava cake or whatever, and there's a big gold statue of George Washington. Obviously,
that was just a lawn, like, you know.
I've played Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah.
They could put that back in 10 days if they need to.
It's gonna be job number one for the kind of next woke president.
That assumes we're allowed to have a woke president.
Well, that's going to be an interesting one. It's like, I'm the woke president. I'm going to come in. I'm going to make a lawn. I don't know. I don't know if that's good either.
I want the kind of, I miss the insincere kind of Democratic Party woke enough that if they wanted to come back into power after whatever kind of blood-soaked military coup and be like, okay, it's the Black Lives Matter pronouns Rose Garden now, I would be like, okay, cool, based.
Oh, yeah, and then you replant it with like native swamp grasses to Washington, D.C.
Oh, sick. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We're selling me on this.
And then you have like formal events there, and you bring in dignitaries, and they all get ticks.
Again, I'm seeing the modernism. You take all of the shit in the walls behind those, like between those columns, smash that out, big glass windows, and you just do a kind of like fusion thing. It'd be cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, we have a plan for the White House now.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Elect us. Next woke president or chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, depending on how it shakes out. hit my line. I will be the new architect of the Capitol.
Hit her line.
Yeah.
We're going to give every major world leader ticks.
Yes. Oh, you're going to get prion diseases you've never heard of before.
They're all going to get that disease that makes it impossible for you to eat meat. It's going to be very funny if we can give that to Jordan Peterson.
All
right.
How was that? Was that good?
It's good, yeah.
What is a Jordan Peterson impression?
That's probably how he sounds right now, yeah.
That's probably how he sounds right now, yeah. Well, that was the goddamn news. Okay, I wanted to add a disclaimer to start out. So microtransit, this sort of on-demand public transportation, there's good forms of this, like paratransit, where, they send out a bus for you to get around if,
right, the seniors I work with rely on CCT to get around. The drivers are nice.
Yeah, you see like community trust minivans that are adapted here for that.
Yeah, schedule the rides for the seniors, and then they go to the casino, and then they lose all their money, and then they come to me and they say, "Give me your money," and I get robbed at gunpoint by my seniors. It's very unfortunate. It's a vicious cycle, really.
Yeah. My upstairs neighbor also uses paratransit.
God bless Miss Venus.
Yeah. There's also, other we'll figure out this term demand responsive later. There's other systems like this which are not, the brainchild of, idiots who think a bunch of cars with the transit system logo on them can replace buses. We're going to talk about the bad stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, paratransit is good. Anyway, first we must ask a question. What is public transportation? What is it for?
To move a lot of people very slowly through 18th and Chestnut.
Why does that train have one half of a pair of handcuffs on it?
Shut up.
Okay.
Why is that there? I never noticed that before.
I expected you to have an answer. You know about this stuff. It's disconcerting
what the fuck
if you're
is
like,
that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was trying to be funny.
Holy
God
shit.
damn it. All right, we're doing great.
No, but I have no fucking clue.
Jesus, okay.
I don't know what that is.
If you know why this train is wearing one half of a pair of handcuffs, write in the comments.
Yeah.
I didn't have to get it cut off with bolt cutters. Unlike
maybe
some
this
people
train's
I know.
like a fugitive. Maybe it's like a bondage. It's wearing a lot of chains up front as well.
I was thinking it's bondage gear. That was the joke I was aiming for.
Yeah, yeah.
We're not aiming for the truck. You guys
Anyways,
see Toy Story, right?
Yeah. It's falling with style.
Hopefully not on the Broad Street line. You don't want to be falling with style.
Yeah. There's lots of ways to look at public transportation. It's a means of transportation, right? It gets you from near to point A to near to point B,
Yeah.
That's usually pretty good, at least for my purposes. You could say this is a jobs program, which is weirdly how I think a lot of Democratic politicians look at it, right? Look at all the good union jobs we've created: bus drivers, mechanics, motormen, administrators, construction guys, so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
On the other side of the aisle, it's a welfare program, right? Wherein we provide chauffeurs for poor people, right? That's what the Republican Pennsylvania state senators think.
They can all kill themselves. Sorry.
Yeah.
We'll believe it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dev. 39 minutes, 36 seconds in.
Yeah. So I think there's another interesting way to look at it, through the lens of course, second wave feminism.
What?
Hell yeah, Justin. Brackets with a caveat.
All right. Hit me with it.
All right. I think there's there's a connection here. So, women, especially, stay-at-home wives, do a lot of labor. A lot of that labor is uncompensated, right?
Yeah, the third shift.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in 1972, the International Wages for Housework campaign was kicked off in Manchester at the National Women's Liberation Conference by Maria Rosa Dalla Costa, Sylvia Federici, Bridget Gaultier,
Okay, yeah, I'm aware of Sylvia Federici. Okay, so
yeah,
some problems with the second wave of feminism. Good things about the second wave of feminism. Uh, uh, what if we did some Marxism? What if we thought about like labor and wages and material conditions? Bad things about second wave feminism. What if we got really transphobic? What if we got really racist?
yes,
But also,
yeah,
in Sylvia Federici's case specifically, what if we kind of made up a lot of history in a way that really set back a lot of study of like feminist history in order to advance that agenda? So yeah, I have Sylvia Federici and I have beef. Also a turf, second wave feminism.
right, yeah. No, there's some problems with this movement, but there
Yeah.
are some lenses in which I think it's useful to look at.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. So you look at all this shit like cleaning, cooking, washing, drying, childcare, ironing, going to get their husband a beer from the fridge, so on and so forth. That's all work, right?
Yeah.
Work
Yeah.
deserves compensation.
The
Yes. Labor's entitled to all it creates. Yes.
When I said the third shift, if you don't get that, that is a phrase that second wave feminists and later feminists have used to describe what's now described somewhat trivializingly as emotional labor. Of okay, well you have to like
Running
you
a
have to
household is
work,
exhausting.
but then you also have to run the
Mhm.
household. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all
Getting
this,
the kids
this,
to soccer
this-
practice, all that shit. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I can barely run my own household, and I have a
Oh,
fake
tell me
job.
about it.
Yeah. Hard save.
This stuff's hard.
Well, the good thing
So-
about being a lesbian is if you're struggling to run your household and you're all women, then it's like, okay, well, thank fucking Christ. There's no like sort of differential here. So we're all equally at fault here.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
It is what it is.
This work demands compensation. Compensation would come from the government, right? Because if you're in a situation where you can't do this individually, right? This is not going to work out for everyone to say, well, I need an allowance from my husband, right?
Yeah.
That's
It was back to
that's
the
not
old
always going to
school
work.
patriarchy
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
So, this campaign, it still exists, right? They've
Hmm.
organized a few strikes, campaigned for better rights for domestic workers, sex workers, subsistence farmers, so on and so forth. They're still around. I'm not sure if they've modernized too much.
Yeah, well, I do want to say that this stuff is not something that kind of sex. Yeah, I got into the feminist sex wars there and across the wire in my head. This is not something that second wave feminism owns necessarily, and it's also I've been a bit reductive about second wave feminism because it contained a lot of stuff, a lot of currents that were very negative, but like those were never like uncontested, right? And there were trans second wave feminists. There were second wave feminists of color, right? Like it's not like there's a lot of stuff that I think became more exclusionery after the fact because of this process. called
Rewriting
feminist
history.
sex wars. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. And like I think if you're in any way a serious feminist, then yeah, you have to take this stuff seriously of like, yeah, there's a bunch of feminized labor that is not conceptualized that way.
Yes. Yes. I mean, that's the crucial thing here. I think conceiving of labor as conceiving labor outside of the workplace as labor, right?
Yeah.
Labor is not all hitting the big I-beam with the hammer.
No, sometimes it's hitting the child with the childcare. Sometimes it's like hitting the dirty dishes with the like the dish soap. Sometimes it's like hitting the elderly with the elderly care. So yeah, there's a lot of things that can be labor. Yeah, I probably don't describe it that way if anyone asks what you do for a living.
Yeah.
Oh, I hit him with it.
I hit the child with the child care. Yeah.
When all you have is elderly care, everything looks like an elderly person.
So also, when you think about labor, you can think about things like labor-saving devices, right?
Hmm.
And
I remember a distinct poster that said, "Don't kill your wife with work. Let electricity help."
Oh God.
In the case of labor that you're being compensated for, sometimes labor-saving devices are a little complex, but I think in the case of uncompensated labor, that's an unalloyed good. So we'll look at two machines here: the washing machine and the city bus.
A lot harder to get stuck in a city bus, but not impossible.
Stepbrother, what are you doing? Or should I say stepbuster? What are you doing?
Yeah. So what do these two things have in common? The
Both
washing
contain motors.
machine. This is true.
Both difficult to move by hand.
Yes.
I'm sure there are others.
Mine moves itself, much like a city bus. Not as quick, though. So the washing machine was one of the most important labor-saving devices invented in the 20th century. The labor it saved was uncompensated labor, right? Hours of a day that women spent washing clothing was now entirely, free and clear thanks to this fantastic, hardworking device. This was now time that was open for leisure or self-improvement or, whatever you wanted to do. That was your own free time. It does not show up in, like GDP reports because, this labor, like everything women did in the home, was uncompensated.
Yeah, GDP is a very limited metric for measuring an economy or measuring economic activity.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's always like disappointing GDP report from China this year. Also, they opened 40 new high-speed train lines.
Imagine that.
So I think we need to apply this likewise to the city bus, right?
Yeah.
One driver, 140-seat bus, driving for an hour. That's going to save up to 40 hours of uncompensated labor that would have otherwise been spent by those passengers driving alone. Not to mention capital investment of 40 cars.
Sure.
If you think about public transit versus the highway system in terms of raw labor time and raw capital investment, transit clearly wins out. We've just offloaded the labor of driving and the capital investment of cars onto the consumer and sold it to them as freedom and a status symbol and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and clearly this works because everyone loves driving.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do really love driving. It's frustrating. But if we bought everyone on the roads a car and compensated them for the labor of driving for all trips except for those for pure pleasure, I don't think the economics of driving a car would be so rosy as they are now. So, public transit is a labor-saving device that frees us all from uncompensated drudgery.
Sure.
But we generally don't think of it that way. Driving is just free. You can just drive anywhere at any time for free, right?
Yeah, you put this in a
And,
city building game, right? Like you got to build roads, and you can put in as many like nice buses and trains as you can, but like by default,
And they don't take them, motherfuckers.
Yeah, by default, like if you don't have those, or if those don't work enough, people will drive. It just shows
people
up.
just drive, yeah. So anyway, I think driving is generally like, thought of as like, it's free, you just have it.
Yeah.
We'll see how this mindset affects decision makers later.
I like this lens. The bus is a sort of tool of feminist emancipation.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
Bus, yes, the bus is the evolution of the bicycle. Also a tool of feminist emancipation.
Yes,
literally.
absolutely.
And the mailbox.
Yep.
Yep.
So now we got to talk about two problems in urban transportation, which are the last mile problem and the geometry problem. We'll talk about the last mile problem here. These problems are in tension with each other, right? The last mile problem is that public transportation, right? It's an expensive investment, therefore is generally limited to high density and well-traveled corridors, which is not necessarily, at least here in the United States, where most people live, right? With modern suburban development patterns. So you can provide excellent service to some of the people, but not those who live like more than a quarter or half a mile from a subway, train, or bus stop, right?
Right.
There's a lot of ways to solve this problem or try to solve this problem, which we're going to demonstrate here at Franconia Springfield Metro Station.
Oh boy. Okay.
Is this like a known thing? I sense a recognition here.
This used to be my metro stop.
Yeah, I was.
Okay,
I'm yearning for the Roz of yore.
Yeah.
Where are the Rozes of yesteryear?
Wherefore art thou? Roz tweeting furiously about the bus not working.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't on Twitter back then. I didn't get on Twitter until
don't get on Twitter is my
after
advice.
college. Or I was on Twitter. I just didn't post very much.
I remember your Untapped account that all you did was to check in on Yinglings, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yep, it's beer. So one of the ways you can overcome the last mile problem is, of course, to run feeder buses, right?
Sure.
As an example, I used to take either the 18R or the 18S from Burke, Virginia. Both of those would come up here through Old Keene Mill Road and then down to the station. Oh God, every time I draw on this, it resets the notes. The 18S provided a direct route to the metro, while the 18R sort of meandered through neighborhoods and cul-de-sacs and so on and so forth, so it could cover more area and get people closer to their homes. That was a slower bus, but sometimes I took it anyway if I was like really tired after rowing practice. I was like, I don't want to walk that extra distance, right? And it was not that much slower. And so like generally in the evenings, there would be like a dozen people on this bus tops. And when we got down to like 3 or 4, the driver would just yell back, "Hey, what's your stop?" And we'd tell him what our stop was, and he'd just drive there directly and skip a bunch of the route.
Hell yeah.
It's cute. Yeah.
Yeah, because no one was like taking this bus outbound beyond Franconia Springfield.
At this point, right.
Yeah. This is a fixed route bus, but practically speaking, no one was boarding in the exurbs. Yeah, you could get away with this. Everyone got home faster. They were happy.
I like
there's
an
other buses that-
inefficient bus. I like a bus or a train that's like statutorily has to be maintained and serves like 3 people, you know?
Yeah, and the guy's just like, "Where are you stopping?" And then he just goes there. It's very nice.
I had that happen when I was taking the bus in. When I worked in King of Prussia, and I would have to take the 125. And a lot of times, the bus driver would just skip just a whole bunch of shit, and I'd get there in like 8 minutes. It was insane.
On the on the far north line in Scotland, there are stations that are you have to hail a train. You have to like push a button and the next one will stop because they're used so
flag stops.
seldom.
Flag stops, yeah.
That like why would you stop at every one? And I really like that.
Another option you can see right here, you can have a park and ride, right? You drive your car to the station and you park, and then you get on the train. Problem is you need a lot of parking, right? This
and
is a
parking
pretty
is
big
an enemy of
parking
the
lot.
podcast.
Yes, this is true.
Walk, you
This is-
motherfuckers.
This is an absolutely massive garage. It's like 6 or 7 stories tall.
Jesus.
It has 5,000 spaces, right? And obviously, probably not everyone is driving alone to this train station. 5,000 spaces is going to yield about 5,000 riders. 5,000 riders is not a huge number when it comes to subway stations.
Right.
That's like 5 full capacity trains, which at rush hour is that's 20 minutes of trains.
Jesus, we got to build a shitload more parking lots.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Add like 10 or 15 more stories.
Get in the tower. The
Yeah.
tower of parked cars that just sits there all day.
I forget what the world's tallest parking garage is. I think
Don't look
is
it up,
like
it'll be too
10 or
depressing.
15. Yeah, no, it's going to be depressing. We have another idea called the Kiss and Ride, right?
Ooh. Ask me
So
about my
over
Friday
here.
night.
And the Kiss and Ride, the idea here, the husband drives the car to the transit station, gets out to go to work, and then the wife drives the car back home.
Gendered labor.
Yeah, gendered labor is still happening.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it's a cute name for it, at least.
Yes. And then, you know, you got bike share taxis, Ubers, hotel shuttles, office park shuttles all go to the station. You got infrastructure for those things. You don't really have sidewalks around this station, right? You might be able to make it to the apartment complex across the Fairfax County Parkway. I think it's still the Parkway on this side of 395. I'm not sure. You could go and walk over to the TSA headquarters down here if you really wanted to. This whole neighborhood down here, I had a friend in high school who lived here who couldn't access the metro because they didn't build the connection until like a couple years ago. So yeah, this is one way to do these last mile connections. You can see there's a lot of infrastructure required, right? It's got its own cloverleaf over here, as well as this interchange is basically dedicated to the station. You know, the big parking garage, the loops and bullshit, but that's what you have to do if you want to move a lot of cars and buses into a station like this, right? This is how you serve effectively a low density area like you know, Springfield, Virginia. And on the other hand, you have the geometry problem in urban areas.
Buildings
Not so
tight,
much
streets
space here.
narrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for good to chow.
Gorgeous pair of buildings, though. This is
Oh yeah, it's nice down there.
really, really nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is Juniper Street, and this is
Named for the podcast.
the Wanamaker building, and then I want to say this is the Widener building. I don't remember
think so,
what this
dude.
one is
I
called.
think so,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah, just huge fucking buildings. Anyway, imagine trying to shove all those cars down here. That's not going to work.
People sure do try on a Friday.
Stack them vertically. There should be 11 lanes of traffic on this.
But yeah, in cities, you're constrained by geometry. There's narrow streets. They can't handle many vehicles. Widening them is difficult because you have to tear down buildings to do that. As such, it's beneficial to transport people using large vehicles and so minimize the amount of space required per person transported, or go for alternate transportation like, I don't know, bicycles, or you could even walk places. Some people don't like to do that.
I would prefer to make all of the cars smaller and gayer and more European.
Yes.
That would be kind of funny.
Everybody has to drive with their knees hunched up on their chest.
I thought Trump was making the opposite happen.
I want a Peel P50. Give me a P50.
You have to drive a Sinclair C5 to work.
Yeah, an old Fiat 500.
I just think a scooter, man.
500 is like big. So, it's good to use a large vehicle to minimize the amount of space required per person. So a subway train is more space efficient than a tram. Tram is more space efficient than a bus. Bus is much more space efficient than a car, right?
Right.
So yeah, you got to use the big vehicle. This is a problem in congested areas, but there's a lot of space. You can see here's the X, here's the Y axis. There's a lot of space on the Z axis, right?
I was right. Stack lanes on top of each other. You should be able to lean out of your office window through someone's car window and take their drink out of the cup holder.
And throw it at them. Yes.
All that stuff is currently occupied by dirt or air, right? And that's something we figured out a while back. This may look like, if you ever seen any of those old timey illustrations of this is what the city of the future will look like. Yeah. So this is not the city of the future. This is the actual current configuration of Herald Square in New York City.
Yeah, but when you walk through it, you're allowed to be like the way of the future.
Yeah, this is true. Well, okay, they got rid of the streetcars. They got rid of the L. Everything below ground is still there. Yeah. It's very difficult to beat the speed and capacity and space efficiency of heavy rail rapid transit, right? Heavy rail here being like a proper subway, right? And back when we were serious about things, you could build these 4-track subways that could, transport people very quickly and efficiently places. We don't do that anymore because of reasons.
The thing about underground is, as I always say, that's where the pipes is. And once that's where the pipes is, and once you start putting in more pipes, it gets more expensive.
Utility relocation is less of a big deal than people make it out to be. I don't know. That's another
get to work,
episode.
Roz.
Yeah, let me. Unless it's like, I don't know, we're gonna hot tap a 50-inch main or something like that. I understand that was done under Aramingo Avenue recently, which is a terrifying thing to think about.
Yeah, buddy.
When I say recently, I mean like 8 or 9 years ago.
That still counts as recent to me. I'd be thinking about that shit on my deathbed.
Yeah, just continuing to think about, oh my God, they relocated that main while it was fucking, it was still live the whole time. How did they even do that?
It's like one of the key. It's like doing bomb disposal, but in order to do that, you disassemble the entire bomb part by part and rebuild it at a safe location.
Forensic bomb building. Yeah,
I don't understand how.
It's an AP class.
That's a part of like engineering. I'm like just astonished that you can do that. Yeah, that's probably much more dangerous than a bomb. But yeah, so we did really aggressive public transit schemes back in the early part of the 20th century, limited part to a limited extent the second part of the 20th century, stuff like the Great Society subways and so on and so forth. And we had this sort of problem solved, but again, because of things we mentioned earlier, the accounting looks a lot better for highways.
Right.
Oh, well, that's way more important than stuff actually working.
Yes. So ultimately, here in the United States, I mean, also Europe, also a lot of other places, that's what we invested in and started wasting everyone's time, and we're still, stuck in that rut, right?
Right.
And today, the accounting again looks so bad. You couldn't build something like this these days. You'd see something with the transit demand like that, and you would, say, okay, we're going to paint a lane red and say it's bus rapid transit, but, only Monday to Friday from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. and a parking lane at other times. You have a press conference, cut a big ribbon, call it a historic and transformative investment. That's depressing, right? But there,
yeah, man,
we have
that's fucking depressing. Jesus.
Yeah.
And Sherelle Parker comes down to spell Eagles wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's the 21st century. We have technology, right?
Oh God.
Some forward-thinking folks in the tech industry had another idea. This idea, Microtransit, this is impossible to build, right?
Yeah, it turns out
should
when you think
acknowledge-
you've been on a subway or a bus, you've actually been gaslighting yourself, and you haven't.
No, you
because
haven't.
It doesn't work.
Yes. We should acknowledge and embrace that. That's because while these things move a hell of a lot of people very quickly and efficiently, look, this is old-fashioned. It's expensive. They don't respond to customers' needs. They don't provide an elevated riding experience. Well, especially since we got rid of the L's. They're not using innovative technology to connect people to opportunities.
Oh, I'm gonna beat you with it. Okay, yeah, hit me with it.
Worst of all, there's no app.
Wow,
you can also tie this in.
This.
You can also tie this in with a bunch of like racist hysteria about public transport, where you're like, if you get the bus, MS-13 is going to cut your limbs off with a machete.
Yeah, we should be so lucky.
You are going to be acid attacked.
That's where the tattoo I regretted was on. So, I...
Thank you, woke MS-13, for cutting off my Nazi tattoo. Yeah.
So, yeah. What do? We have to cast off this yoke of fixed route transit. That is transit that runs on a fixed line, whether it's a bus or a train or a ferry or I don't know what else is public transit.
Oh, just basically whatever.
Trolleys.
You could do it on a dirigible if you arranged it right.
A dirigible, an airplane. Yeah, you could have some kind of. I was gonna try and think of something quaint, and dirigible is unfortunately off scale quaint.
Tandem bicycle.
Tandem bicycle. Yeah. We have to meet people where they are at any time, at any expense. What if transit was demand responsive? What if it was more flexible? What if you, the customer, you're a customer, don't say passenger, you're a customer. What if you told the bus where to go?
I do. That's why I ride New Jersey Transit. You ever taken that to Avalon? It's fucking weird.
So we have to talk about demand responsive, flexible transit.
Oh, God, must we? Yes. How's it going over there, drunkie?
Okay, sure, I deserve that. Let's keep going.
Look. It factually, I am probably more intoxicated than November right now.
Yeah, also
having like a court-ordered thing where we have to do a breathalyzer by the mixer before we start recording.
Let's do a breathalyzer. You have to be this drunk to ride the podcast.
Yeah. I'm not drunk enough. I have to shoot a couple of Asahis and some shots before I start recording.
Yeah. All right, yeah, take this Johnny Walker. We'll tell you when.
Johnny Walker, Johnny. Boy. Okay. Yeah. All right. Hit me with it. I'm good.
So I talked about the 18R. The driver would yell back at the 3 passengers and say, "Hey, what's your stop?" And then he would express the bus to those stops. Right? Everyone got home nice and quick. Some people looked at a situation like that and said, "Where's the part where you go on your phone?"
Oh my god, interaction with another human? Gross.
With the human being? No, gross,
Ugh.
nasty.
Ugh.
So in the broadest sense, demand responsive transit exists, right?
Yeah, a football special is demand responsive transit.
Yes, or you run more buses and trains at rush hour. Yeah, for special events, so on and so forth, but
Sports
not
Express,
so flexible, right? Imagine 30 people are boarding a bus that goes this way, right? Through this area of, I believe, Durham, North Carolina, right? But they're going to a place which is a block out of the way, right?
Fuck them. Walk.
Or let's say 300 people board the train at Franconia Springfield down here on the Blue Line, and they're all going to, oh God, Archives Navy Memorial Penn Quarter. Right. Yeah. They make the names of these stations too long.
No.
The Washington Metro has a very nasty habit of having very long station names. I believe actually U Street African American Civil War Memorial Cardozo is the longest metro stop name in the world.
Incredible.
So anyway, if that happened, 200 people needed to go here. Obviously, okay. Well, in the first case, obviously we should run the bus 1 block over to go to this other stop, right?
Yeah, turn this whole shit around.
Exactly. Or we should run that train up the yellow line to serve the most people most efficiently, right? So, anyway, what you wind up in these 2 cases are, number 1, that bus hits the 11-foot-8 bridge and decapitates everyone. Right.
Okay, sure.
And number 2, that Blue Line train winds up at Mount Vernon Square and no one can figure out how to reverse it and delays everyone, right? None of those things work.
It's almost as if these things aren't really meant to be that demand responsive because they're meant to be timetable.
Yes, they have to, ultimately these sorts of high intensity things, you can't do route deviations. You can't, change the destination of trains.
Justin,
in some limited cases.
That's socialism. If you think that the public transit system gets to tell me where it's going to take me, then that's a limitation on my individual freedom.
Yes, that's true. I should just be able to demand that the trolley go on a different route. It would be nice.
Take me to Cuba.
Every night when I'm take me to Cuba. So even this idea, it's so patently stupid. That's not where the tech guys started, right? But it is sort of a goal, right?
I'm sure they're going to try and do it with like some kind of like flying bus or whatever the fuck,
Yeah. You can't make a magic AI-powered dispatching algorithm for dynamically routing large transit vehicles. So the solution clearly is to get smaller, more personalized, more decentralized.
Oh no.
Less infrastructure, more technology.
No.
Right? What we need is microtransit.
Live in the pod and eat the bug. Before you get to the pod, I put in a slide. just because I love talking about these things. Any excuse to. So I know this thing as a marshrutka. However, these have been invented many times over. Basically, every country has had them at one point or another. They're typically a like poor country thing, and they've kind of developed any number of kind of incredibly vibrant expressions. You might know this as a share taxi, you might know it as a grand taxi, you might know it as a taxi Bruce, you might know it as a jitney or a trotra or whatever the fuck it is, right? Like these are all over the world, and the deal is it's a bus, but not really for legal reasons. And so what it typically,
in New York City, you got the dollar vans, and you got the in New Jersey they're jitneys, but they're actually regulated, which is kind of funny.
In Hong Kong, you have a public light bus which comes in two flavors, green and red, and is a kind of like smaller bus. And the deal is, all of these typically the places that they serve, like the cities or whatever, already have public bus systems, but those are very limited in the routes they serve. So to resolve that last mile problem, your smaller routes are catered to by these privately operated minibuses. This could be a big car, it could be a small van, it could be this kind of like Mercedes type beat that's a minibus. This is a Russian one. There are plenty of others. And basically, the way it works is it's kind of a taxi, but it runs on a fixed route, and it only starts when all of the seats are full. Sometimes there's a guy who comes back and takes fares. Sometimes you just have to pass them forward. It's very informal, and these things are great in the sense of like, yeah, there's a lot of flexibility to them, and they're a great example of like, I don't know, the fucking entrepreneurial spirit, and they each contain a, you know, bold cultural valence or whatever. However, they will kill you. They're incredibly dangerous, and they're always mobbed up because this is like a quasi legal activity, and like any quasi legal activity, any attempt to organize it is organized crime. And so you end up with, why is the driver pointing a shotgun out of the window at a competing minibus? This is a problem. People don't tend to like it when their commute is interrupted by a gunfight or trying to like run a competing minibus off the road. However, they persist in a lot of the world, and so this is kind of, it's almost microtransit. Wikipedia calls this paratransit. And actually, sorry,
I don't know if I would call this microtransit because this is a better system.
Yeah, it's just sort of like the thing that this is your actual default, right? In the sense that like, where a city builder game is like everyone has a car and drives. Your actual thing, when the distance is too long to walk, what actually generates, what spawns in, is a mobbed up minibus. And I if you want to read more about these, I highly recommend the Wikipedia article Share Taxi, because that has an extensive list by location, and you can see all of the different forms that this has taken all around the world, which are remarkable. Particularly enjoy the Moroccan ones, which is just a big Mercedes sedan. But they're all cool. Do not take them, you will die.
I think another like interesting one in terms of like where this can go positively, which I didn't write in the notes, but I thought is worth talking about, is the slug line.
What's that?
Go on.
So this exists in a couple cities. It's most prominent in the suburbs of Washington, D.C., because when they built I-395, they built it with a dedicated busway in the middle. And then people got mad and they said, well, this is now a high occupancy vehicle lane. Right. You need 3 people in your car in order to use it. So after that, people would start going to shopping centers and say, you know, I'm going to park my car here in the parking lot. And then people would drive up to a designated spot and say, well, I'm going to Roslyn. I'm going to the Pentagon. I'm going to, you know, X and Y neighborhood of Washington, D.C. And they'd start picking up people so that they could take the express lanes, right? Those people were known as slugs. And this became popular enough of a way of commuting that it became semi-formalized. my dad would slug into work a lot. He would drive his horrible 1980s Chevy Nova. That was supposed to be my car. The homeowners association made him get rid of it. But
fucking Nazis at the HOA, man.
Yeah, that was a lot. That was a lot safer to drive that car 2 miles to the slug lot rather than driving it all the way into Roslyn. That was not a good car. But yeah, I mean, that's like one of these like spontaneously organized thing. It eventually became semi-formalized, and I think it's not only in Washington D.C. now. It's in there's a couple other places where they have high occupancy vehicle lanes. People do it, but yeah, this concept of like you know, I guess decentralized transit is not a bad idea. It's just that when you're doing it like that, it does not work very well if you organize it top down.
Yeah.
Which is what we're now going to discuss.
And if you organize it bottom up, then what it becomes is a highly mobbed up form of transit.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's, get in my car, I'm going in the general direction you are.
Yeah, it's like one of the wheels is about to fall off it, and it's like, whatever, man.
Yeah. So if you want to do this kind of service, but you want to do it top down, obviously what we need is cars.
Oh. Why does this look AI generated? I know it isn't because the text makes too much sense.
I don't think it is. Yeah.
No, it's not. But
no one's seen a proper checker cab in ages.
There's a particular kind of there's a quiddity to this one that I don't know. I fucking hate AI, but one of the reasons why I hate it the most is that it makes me distrust my own eyes sometimes.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. They made the same model of car until like 1990.
Yeah.
It's cute. I mean, listen, I like this stuff. I like when it's idiosyncratic. I have a real weakness for the London cabs, the like black cabs, and the various attempts to like modernize them. And I'm always a bit disappointed when I have to get a cab in London and like a minivan shows up and I'm like, no, I don't want this. I want the special one.
So the idea of microtransit, very simple. Rather than having a big bus that carries a lot of people, you have a lot of small vehicles that carry fewer people. And rather than you waiting at a bus stop, you use your phone to call a car and it comes to you and drops you off somewhere.
I've had this experience, and one of the ways I've done that is by standing in the road, and this is a cool experience that you're decreasingly getting, sticking your arm out and yelling the word taxi to summon one of these cars.
Yeah, well, you should have used your phone is the thing.
Yeah, I guess. Because cab drivers love it when you do that because they, get so much more money from, when you book them with an app.
Oh, God. I've never successfully hailed a cab. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's a good time. Really? When you nail it, like it feels amazing. Yeah. You feel like you're leveling up in city.
Yeah. Well, the cabs don't really come to my neighborhood is the thing. I saw one. I saw one yesterday, and I was like, "Holy shit! I didn't know they were out here."
I have like fond memories of like being in the city with my dad and him hailing a cab and being like, "Oh yeah, this is an adult skill," like
yeah.
And when you're young and your dad seems like 20 feet tall to you, it's like, yeah,
yes,
he just shrank a little bit.
Yeah, he was a 20-foot tall Maoist, and the federal government were terrified of him.
Yes.
My dad was not, as far as I know, a Maoist, but he has other good qualities, so it's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, the thing I described, some people may recognize as a taxi, but no, this is a new idea because there's a phone involved.
Oh, okay.
And some people may recognize this as an Uber or a Lyft, but again, no, this is a new idea because the transit agency runs it.
Nationalized Uber.
Well,
I mean, now we're talking kind of like It's a bad idea, but it's a less bad idea than just Uber, maybe.
So, as an example, let's take an infrequent and very messy suburban bus route. Like this is SEPTA Route 206 over here, right? Goes from Paoli Station, then goes all the way around.
Right? It does that, yeah.
Yeah. It gets 86 riders a day, right? It only comes like once an hour or so and only in the peak direction. It's essentially a feeder route for the Paoli Regional Rail Station down here so that reverse commuters can get to, horrible Office Park A, horrible Office Park B, and I think there's a horrible Office Park C around
here. The Great Valley Corporate Center does sound like somewhere that would make me want to end my own life if I worked there. You have to beep that as well.
Yeah.
I have not commuted on this route, but a very similar one that goes out of Norristown. It was
the Hunted?
Not the Hunt. Oh no, I took the Hunted to the bus.
Yeah, done
which
that.
I then transferred to another bus in order to get to a job interview.
Yep, been there.
And then I was like, even if they offered me the job, I was like,
fuck you.
No, I'm not doing this commute. So yeah, I mean, to run a bus service like this, which runs one way in the morning, runs one way in the evening, there's a big off time in the middle. You have to do all kinds of bullshit with like layovers and split shifts. If you're the bus driver for this route, I would hazard a guess you're pretty low seniority because this would be awful to run. It's expensive to run. If you're a passenger, God help you if you miss your bus, you're waiting
walking
there at your horrible office for another hour. Ugh. But it needs to be there in our current situation, right? With Microtransit, you can get rid of it.
It's the thing of the past.
Yeah. You replace it with an area, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this area, you can order a taxi run by the transit company to pick you up and drop you off anywhere within this area. Although practically speaking here, it would just be Paoli Station.
Great.
Just give me the mob guy with a shotgun and a minibus.
Yeah, honest to God.
I don't think they would make enough money. So yeah, bingo bongo, all the problems are solved because driving is free. And it can happen, that person is going to show up anytime and can go any place through some kind of advanced dispatching system and dynamic routing, which is a way to say the guy drives to a place, right?
Yeah, and he's got like a GPS and he's got like some kind of software backend like Uber.
Yeah, there's like something telling them to make a wrong turn.
They do that now. Based on what I know of SEPTA's on-demand stuff, it uses a third-party app called Rideco, and it is the most useless thing I've ever had the displeasure of working.
So what we've actually done here is created a very small, very geographically limited taxi company, which for all practical purposes has one origin point and one destination point, which is Paoli Station over here, right? This is actually kind of an advantage. We'll get to the more diffuse networks in a bit. This particular service has not been implemented yet. It's scheduled to be implemented as part of SEPTA's bus revolution, right? Which is one of those revenue neutral bus network redesigns that transit consultant Jarrett Walker likes to do for a lot of people. I got some of the information from him for this episode, but he's a bit of a mixed bag, I would say, to say the least. Somehow, despite it being revolution neutral, SEPTA didn't have the money to implement it, so this has not been done yet.
Turns out, how does one transit system not have $0?
Well,
obviously it's gotten worse now, but this was supposed to happen like a year ago.
This is Sean Duffy's fault, frankly.
Yeah. They did buy the vehicles for this taxi service, though. They were optimistic about ridership, and they bought some of those Ford F-350 bus conversions for this.
Oh, hell yeah. I love those.
Yeah. But, okay, let's look at an example of one which is in service, which is just across the river in Camden, right?
In a dream.
Stealing our names.
Yeah.
There isn't a Cyberdog
like
there. It's not
taxi,
Camden.
But better. So the Camden Loop is the microtransit in Camden, New Jersey.
Not a loop then, is it?
And it's not a loop. It has nothing to do with a loop. It's stupid name.
It's I guess it's bounded by a loop in the sense that it's an area.
Yeah, but there's a second loop you can go to.
The Camden Loops, then.
The Camden Loops.
This is some kind of offense against mathematics.
Yeah, but you can also go to the Cherry Hill station here at number 1, so it's Camden Loops at 1 point.
How do you cross all of the bridges in Potsdam once or whatever? Like, this is...
It was Kaliningrad.
Yeah, you're right. You're so right for that. And you did, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to dead name Kaliningrad. Obviously not fond of the sort of current tenants, but you can't say they didn't earn it, you know?
Well, no, it was Königsberg before, so you did not name it.
Yeah. Shit,
but I just did. Shit.
We are doing so good.
I actually use ze pronouns. It's not even what the fucking pronoun is. Anyway.
Yeah.
Tell me about this
German
loop.
and Russian, which is worse. Yeah. So this is, microtransit in Camden. This was designed, as like a service to augment New Jersey transit service within the city of Camden. We can see some statistics up here. I copied this tweet from Alex Davis. I'm just going to trust his math. Averaging 140 riders a day with 8 vehicles and 8 drivers compared to a previous bus route, which averaged 452 riders per day with 4 buses and 4 drivers.
Efficiency.
I like Alex's phrasing here of a half-hourly, stupid-looking squiggly loop.
Yeah, that's a stupid bus line, and yet, it worked better. It worked a lot better. And so, this demonstrates a really serious problem here with microtransit, which is it just doesn't scale, right?
Also, it's stupid.
Yeah, and it's stupid,
But it's a stopgap, and the gaps keep getting bigger, so you have to have more stop to gap them with, or whatever.
I mean, the previous bus was working fine. You actually created the gap that you had to stop.
You know what we call that? Consultancy.
Market efficiency.
So one of the biggest problems here is microtransit does not scale, right?
Yeah, bikers in the name, dummy.
Yeah, that's true. If you want to move more people, you need more cars or more vans and more drivers. Which is one of the reasons why taxis are not always very reliable. They don't scale very well because there's a limited number of taxi medallions, right? Which is, cities only allow a certain number of taxis to exist, or they used to.
Yeah.
Uber and Lyft were able to get around this problem by ignoring it. And doing illegal stuff.
Yeah, because the biggest kind of ceiling on taxi medallions or whatever was cities' own capacity to regulate taxi cabs. Because they didn't want to scale that, because then the city government has to spend more money hiring more taxi inspectors or whatever. Whereas Uber is just what if we just don't get regulated in any meaningful way?
But also, taxi medallions were theoretically a traffic mitigation thing, right? If you had people realized, 80 years ago, damn, we might have too many taxis. We should probably limit these.
And then Uber said, "What if we were unregulated?" Haha, motherfucker.
Yeah, exactly.
Without even creating a cool looking car that then gets to be in a bunch of IKEA like wall photos of Manhattan,
So then, Uber and Lyft, they get around this by just ignoring it and hiring massive amounts of drivers, paying them sub-minimum wage, trying to convince you that the reason they're so efficient is because of some kind of, I don't know,
magic algorithm,
really high-tech algorithm that does dispatching better. No, they just have more drivers. And this situation is barely sustainable for Uber and Lyft. But doing this as a transit agency where you rely on like fare revenue and taxes as opposed to Saudi petrodollars, completely unsustainable, right?
Yeah, Uber's like, I remember it took them years to actually become profitable, and still it's like not great.
Yeah, I think well, their finances say they're profitable.
Well, quite, yeah.
I am skeptical of those numbers, for a wide variety of reasons. Hi, it's Justin. So this is a commercial for the podcast that you're already listening to. People are annoyed by these, so let me get to the point. We have this thing called Patreon, right? The deal is you give us $2 a month, and we give you an extra episode once a month. Sometimes it's a little inconsistent, but it's $2. You get what you pay for. It also gets you our full back catalog of bonus episodes, so you can learn about exciting topics like guns, pickup trucks, or pickup trucks with guns on them. The money we raise through Patreon goes to making sure that the only ad you hear on this podcast is this one. Anyway, that's something to consider if you have $2 to spare each month. Join at patreon.com/WTYP pod. Do it if you want. Or don't. It's your decision, and we respect that. Back to the show. But yeah, let's look at some other aspects. Here's the biggest microtransit system in the country. It's in Los Angeles.
Boo! Right? Fuck the Dodgers and fuck you, Noah.
Antagonistic relationship
Jays
with previous guests.
Jays are gonna bring it home.
That's right, baby.
America's team.
America's team, the Toronto Blue Jays.
Do it again, Canada.
That's right. They're going to have to rename it the Gulf of Canada after this. So Metro Micro in Los Angeles, right?
Metro Micro.
They have 9 microtransit zones around the city, which bring you to various light rail stations, because Los Angeles went all in on light rail. They get something like 2,300 riders per day on this whole system, which is a little less than half the goal of this pilot program. About the same ridership as a single mediocre suburban bus route.
Incredible work, boys.
Yeah, I was about to say, like a very heavily used bus route might have 10 or 15,000 riders a day. There's some which are crazy and are like 50,000.
I was going to say, do you know what like the 42 gets or something?
Yeah, 42 gets. I looked up the 23 and I think it's 15,000.
That makes sense. Okay,
I'm not sure.
No, that's fine. Yeah. I was just thinking about what's a big bus route.
Yeah, well, I would have to have looked both because they used to be the same route. Anyway, the operating subsidy on these taxis is something like $23 per rider.
You're kidding.
Oof. As opposed to $8 for a comparably underperforming bus route. according to Streets Blog. I'll link that article in the description.
Man, I assume the city of Los Angeles has that kind of money to splash around, right?
Well, they're the only people still aggressively expanding transit. So, but also, no, this is a terrible return. It's awful. I mean, okay, I guess it's good because theoretically low income people could use this because you're paying a normal transit fare for this, but also, for reasons we'll get into later, that's not who's using it, and also that's a lot of subsidy.
It's a lot of subsidy, yeah.
Yeah. When you could have something a lot easier. So this is financially unsustainable. So rather than ending this pilot program and saying, wow, guys, I don't think this worked that good. We tried, we failed, go on to something else. Going back to regular fixed route transit, they're going to try outsourcing the drivers to a third party so they don't have to pay benefits.
Oh, what if we made it more like Uber by treating the drivers way worse?
Subhuman,
yeah,
yes.
exactly. We need more vectors for extracting profit, which is weird for a publicly owned transit agency. Now your tax dollars go to exploiting drivers.
Yeah,
I don't know. I maybe they could go and get some like funny money from Mohammed bin Salman too. This is another one of those. Like it's like everything these days. It's all a scam to get around labor laws, right?
Sure. Yeah.
It's the only kind of innovation you're still allowed to make.
Pretty much, yeah. It's the last frontier, when they extract the last dollar out of the last worker, then they can finally go to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, fundamentally, to some extent, this is a convenience problem, right? If I have to order a taxi from the transit agency to get to the train, why don't I just take a taxi the whole way there?
Right.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, microtransit is going to be cheaper than the taxi, but you're trying to cater to the sort of clientele who want convenience more than they want things to be cheap. The so-called choice riders who choose to use transit, as opposed to captive riders who
poor
people who were forced to use transit. Right? This is not for those people. It does not make sense. It's kind of none of this makes sense. It's stupid.
It's not as classist as it's supposed to be,
Yeah. So then, how have some other cities implemented this? Other cities, other locales. So.
Oh, I tell you what, this is a subsidy for graphic designers.
Yeah, apparently.
Ugh.
So up here is Iris. This is in Kansas City, right? They
this is Rideco, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, Rideco does, I think, a lot of the back end for all of this stuff.
Yep. Worst system I've ever used in my life.
So in Kansas City, they wound up buying just cars for this service. A lot of people get vans. They just got cars.
I mean, at that point, you're sort of admitting defeat and being more honest about the ride capacity you need, right?
This is probably one of the reasons why they had to end free fares in Kansas City, was paying for this bullshit. But they have a pretty wide service area in Kansas City for microtransit. They have their own cars with their own drivers, but apparently sometimes if you call in or if you go on the Iris app, it just forwards it to Uber and an Uber picks you up.
Incredible.
That is the market at work, baby.
The Iris of last resort.
So they were a little bit more optimistic here in Montgomery County, Maryland, right? But they got a big service area with these microtransit vehicles, which you can see are small, like buses, right? These tiny transit buses, right? So you have relatively diffuse like origin and destinations, right? And it turned out, this is according to Amalgamated Transit Union, there's fairly limited opportunities for people to efficiently share rides if they're going from lots of different places to other lots of different places.
That makes sense.
In a suburban context. So these buses run with a single occupant or less 90% of the time.
Wow,
I
that
take
is
back
efficient.
the thing I said about liking inefficient buses when they're like this.
And this is also according to Amalgamated Transit Union. I'll link the report in the description. Ottawa, Ontario found a fun economy when they started their microtransit system. What if you take the paratransit buses that are reserved, largely for disabled people, right? And use them as microtransit buses.
Yeah, because those disabled people, they've had it too good for too long, right?
I was going to
What
say,
if we started
exactly,
using,
yeah.
what if we
get the
started using
express train
those-
to hell?
What if we started using these for real people who mattered,
Yeah, exactly. And so
I
you can
invented
book.
a really inefficient bus system, and all it took was me throwing all of these useless wheelchairs into a garbage heap.
You can book, I think in limited areas, you can book one of these paratransit buses in minutes with an app, and it will show up within hours. But
oh, that's British ambulance response times.
Yeah. If you need paratransit outside of the normal areas, but inside the normal paratransit area, you got to book it a day in advance still.
That is...
Finally, you too, able-bodied person, can experience the joys of disability accommodation when we make the whole service as bad.
Spoiler alert, it sucks.
No. We made the service for able-bodied people worse, but we made the service for disabled people much worse.
No longer exists effectively.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
That's called equity right there. So I think another aspect of this is you might be asking, okay, but what if we just get autonomous vehicles? How's that doing?
Shut up.
And this is a callback to an earlier episode where we had Marcus on to talk about
the Jacksonville thing,
the ultimate urban circulator, right? And if this is all autonomous vehicles, right, it's going to be the labor costs we talked about earlier would be irrelevant. The subsidy would be much lower. And then, I don't know, maybe it's easier to do an autonomous car than an autonomous bus, maybe, sort of. I don't know. Because from everything I've talked to with bus drivers, bus driving requires very defensive driving, and the best defense is a good offense.
That's right.
Or as I've also
hand down, man down, Roz.
As I've also heard, drive it like you stole it. Autonomous vehicles are not capable of that right now. So yeah, I think we're all autonomous vehicle skeptics. I mean, Waymo still hasn't released.
Waymo doesn't meaningfully exist. It's just guys.
Yeah, but they've announced that they're coming to London anyway.
Yeah,
and
they
Philly,
say they're coming to Philly.
I'm going to do stuff to a car that hasn't been seen since Burnout Paradise.
They have not released, to my knowledge, statistics about how often humans take over driving their cars. Which,
why would you? They're autonomous.
Do you remember the guy who got stuck in a Waymo that was just going in circles, and he couldn't even get into the front to take control of it? I think this is a beautiful technology in terms of comedy. in terms of the kind of slapstick quotient of our cities, I think it's going up a lot. Like, you get another good round of riots, and some things are going to happen to some Waymos, the likes of which we've never seen before. In terms of like being a good idea to have around, absolutely not.
No, well, what if the transit agency was in charge of it, and that's where we have to talk about the ultimate urban circulator in Jacksonville, which is
I remember
intended
this,
to we talked about this a while back. There's a whole episode about it. It's open now, right?
Oh, is it?
So here's the ultimate urban circulator, which is this Ford Transit van.
Oh, that's depressing.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Here's a shot from the inside.
It looks like an ambulance where they don't treat you; they just kill you and throw you out the back.
Just dump you out. Yeah,
it's one of those Chinese mobile execution vans.
You hate to call an ambulance and the execution van shows up, and you're just like, well, I guess it's here quicker, but
is it that bad? So note first, here's the large brain box that controls the whole thing, right? Some of the time. Right? You've got like a wheelchair lift over here that presumably has to be manually operated because these are high floor vehicles. Note also the brain box that also controls the thing, which is there's a driver in this.
That's not ultimate. That's just an urban circulator. I was lied to.
At least you have someone to operate the wheelchair lift
and hang out with.
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important to note that the people mover this is designed to replace was actually driverless and automatic, but this is sometimes autonomous, which is better somehow, right?
Okay, cool.
God, the future's so fucking stupid.
They've given this thing a dedicated lane. You can see here. It looks like it's had about 20 years of road salt put down.
We're in Florida. What the fuck?
Yeah, and also it's brand new. I don't know how they manage that. There's already like mud all over it. It's like sinking into the ground.
Incredible.
I'll link Marcus's article below. I got to take notes on what I'm saying. I'm going to link below. The ride is apparently so jerky that you need to wear a seatbelt.
You should probably wear a seatbelt regardless, man.
When go into a transit bus,
you don't wear a seatbelt?
I don't have to wear a seatbelt.
I was just thinking for a van.
Yeah. But for a transit bus, you don't need a seatbelt on
Point
those.
taken.
Yeah. Apparently the drivers have to take over pretty frequently because the route is really janky. It's the autonomous software cannot handle crossing 4 lanes in one block.
You're in Florida. How can you not handle that?
It's just bad route design. In the couple months that this thing has been open, it's carried about 16 people
have died.
And has managed to override the safety driver in order for it to crash into a light pole. But, okay, this autonomous technology, right? Clearly,
Any day now.
No, it doesn't work well yet. So when we have real microtransit, obviously we're going to have pods.
Yes. Live in the pod, drive the pod to work, eat the bug.
Yeah, look at all these pods.
For a while, these were going to be the replacement for the cancelled rail link from Glasgow to Glasgow Airport, and then they cancelled that too. So we can't even get pods.
I mean, because they don't work is the thing.
We could have had something that didn't work, and instead now we don't have something that can't work because we can't even have something that doesn't work.
So if you look at the van that was in the previous image, right? What if we change the bodywork?
No crumple zones.
Yes, no crumple zones. It is at least low floor, so it'd be easier to get a wheelchair in there. It does have fewer seats, however, but that's fine because it's a pod, right?
Also, easier, but not easy. You have to ollie the thing.
Yeah. And if the thing doesn't work, there's no attendant there. I mean, in practice, there would have to be an attendant there. I'll get to that in a few slides. You know, but when you show these pods to like decision makers, and people go, bananas for them. It's incredible. It's the future. It's inevitable. This is what we have to do, right? We're gonna get rid of these big, clunky transit buses, and that's old. What we need is a pod. It's gonna be a pod of some kind, right? And
It's the
it's
hot
just
newness,
a fucking
Roz.
van. It's just a van.
Yeah, but it's a futuristic looking van.
Yeah, Roz, it's the future.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Rideco, those motherfuckers.
But yeah, I in terms of what you just said, November, about like using these for the Glasgow airport link, because these things, most of them are limited to about 25 miles an hour.
That's
Well, if I
That's just a
remember right, it
go-kart.
wasn't going to go from Glasgow to Glasgow Airport. It was going to go from the airport to Paisley, the city like southeast of Glasgow, where you could then get a train. And they were going to build like an overpass for them. This was also stupid.
You've just built a golf cart. Congratulations.
Yeah. You would get on the kind of golf cart overpass that would take you over a bunch of fields and stuff to a train station where you could then get a train like 20 minutes into the center of town.
It's a golf cart with an air conditioner and a computer. But yeah, these pods are particularly insidious because people, unlike a van, people see these as a serious replacement for a lot of transit services, even like high ridership bus lines. Even though it's a van, right? It's just a van. I think they're supposed to do like some kind of magic stuff like platooning. That's where they can all, get up close to each other at speed on the road, right? Thus saving space. But
that's
in practice,
bus.
like
that's a bus, and that's a disassembled. It's a deconstructed bus.
It's a deconstructed.
It's
bus.
a play on a bus.
We're doing molecular gastronomy, but with transit.
Yeah, that was the word I wanted. There we go. You guys see the menu? It's gonna be like that, but with tires.
Yeah, no, this bus comes with expensive foam. That's from the fire suppression system. But yeah, in practice, I at least this one in this image is an actual production vehicle that exists in a few places, and it's limited to 25 miles an hour, as I said, and it runs on a fixed route. And
it's a golf cart.
It's usually like, well, this is a shuttle from one building to another.
Cool.
Yeah.
The future's so goddamn stupid.
But yeah,
this is a kind of vanity project for your tech campus.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. Maybe we could fix it with other stuff, more expensive infrastructure. How's the loop doing?
Oh yeah.
I love when you get to taunt people.
So yeah, we've had an episode on the Las Vegas loop a while back. It's not doing any better now than it was back then. At least not on non-convention days. There was a good video that City? No, it was the other guy. Wait, no, I forget if it was. Hold on, let me double check this real quick. I want to.
You tell we've been drinking, folks.
Yeah. Right, it is City Nerd. I forgot if he was the same guy. I was like, okay, yeah, but he just rode this in did a YouTube video about it. Hold on, let me get back to the notes here, so I understand what I'm talking about. So the loop, if you've been living under a rock, which sounds like a great idea right now.
Yeah,
under a rock. Yeah. this type of microtransit where there's cars in tunnels, right? And you go in the car and it goes somewhere else in the tunnels, right? Which, right now every car has a driver. They don't go very fast in the tunnels, all this kind of other stuff. It's just another kind of microtransit. I mean, granted, this is privately owned, so other people, the Saudis are losing money on this one.
Yay.
That's
Once
how
again,
petrodollar recycling works.
they're so good at investment.
Yeah.
So they call him Mohammed bin Dollars.
Yeah. So this is just, the same bullshit, but add a bunch of tunnels. They claim very high ridership numbers on this thing. I think they fudge the numbers. There's got to be something, but a lot of these, even the private sector can't invest in this properly because a good chunk of the expansion to the Las Vegas Loop since they built the convention center section has all been single tunnels,
Ugh.
right? Which means each segment of the loop can handle, on average, a little less than one car at a time.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
So yeah, this is I think the ultimate manifestation of microtransit is we're gonna spend a lot of money to build the worst piece of infrastructure possible. I mean, when we put in the Soviet time capsule, that our ancestors will look at in the future will be like,
You
it's not going to
fucking
be
morons.
We address you,
it's not gonna be
comrade
like-
descendants who do not know what a bus is.
yeah, no, we address you, comrade descendants. We apologize for being such morons.
We tried to warn them, please find enclosed on this thumb drive a bunch of episodes of our podcast. And then a bunch of our
Yes.
bits leak forward into the future.
But yeah, so in conclusion, the fact is here that in nearly every single case imaginable, microtransit just doesn't work.
That's crazy. What?
Yeah. It sounds cool though. And people who run transit agencies like to drive cars. Very few of them take transit to work, at least in the United States.
We are forced to conclude that not only is car bad, but van bad.
No,
Yeah,
no, you'll never have it from me. Rideco bad, though. I'll get on board with Rideco bad.
So everyone sort of forgot that driving cars costs money, right? And ordering a car is, at least in my opinion, much less convenient than waiting for a bus. These things they're expensive to run. They do not attract many riders. They cannot attract riders because if they did, you couldn't scale it. Like if they became popular, they wouldn't work. And they're essentially providing the same service as a taxi or an Uber or a Lyft, but in limited areas, right? A big bus that can carry a lot of people is always going to be cheaper to run than several cars that only carry a few people just in terms of raw labor hours. Maybe you can pay the car drivers less, but that's unethical. Maybe the cars will become autonomous. They probably won't. This thing doesn't scale. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's not going to stop anyone in a position to decide from trying to make it happen.
Yeah, that's the problem. I also doubt that autonomous vehicles would change this balance too much, because even if they did work as well as advertised, you're still running a public service, right? So you probably have like a van or a small bus, which means you have to, you have to cater to disabled people, right? which means you need a wheelchair lift and an attendant to run said wheelchair lift and, strap in the wheelchair and so on and so forth, right? Public safety is also a concern. Having an attendant or, a bus driver is a nice deterrent to antisocial behavior, generally speaking.
Yeah, stop MS-13 from hacking off all your limbs or whatever people are worried about this week.
Yeah, unless it's a limb I want hacked off, obviously.
Because of his Nazi tattoo. Actually, for Roz, it's just a tattoo that says HTTR.
What's that?
Hail to the team, the slurs.
Oh, what? I see.
This is novel to me. Okay, whatever.
Don't worry about it.
The Washington football team.
Oh,
used to be called something else.
Sure. Okay.
Yes, the Washington Glee Club. And also, this is to say nothing of the other goals, reducing pollution, reducing vehicle miles traveled. That's the fancy statistic for all the cars on the road. Better to have fewer of them and not more, right? Reducing the overall amount of labor that a society must perform, which I think is a laudable goal. People should have more leisure time.
Oh, yeah,
right?
They should.
Microtransit fails on every one of these accounts. It doesn't make any sense. It from like any aspect. It's a bad idea. It's time for everyone to dump it. But, because we live in stupid world, of course, transit agencies are forging ahead anyway.
Yeah, they got to funnel a bunch of money to consultants to come up with a cute name for it and put a vinyl wrap on a Mercedes Vito or whatever.
Yeah.
And then make Liam's life worse with RideCo.
That's right. Well, I mean, what is the future if not people saying we must make Liam's life worse, and then there's nothing
you ain't lying,
Nova.
Well, what do we learn?
Burn it.
I don't think we learned anything. I think this is a lesson for other people who have also learned nothing, but for different reasons.
Your credit certificate is in the mail.
If you are the sort of like person at a transit agency who gets to decide on this stuff, just don't fucking do this.
Give us money.
Bus. Run the bus.
Run a bus.
Just run the bus. Bus is good. I like bus.
He
Maybe
does like
if it's
bus.
Crowded, I don't know. Make it a trolley bus. Make it a tram.
Ooh, articulated
bus.
Ooh, articulated bus.
Those things, well, those things caught fire a lot and also killed a few cyclists, but, in principle.
I like a bendy bus.
I
bendy
also like a
buses
bendy
are
bus.
nice.
Yeah.
No bendy bus ever killed me.
It would have to be well out of its kind of normal habitat, for one thing.
Right.
Oh, we got bendy buses.
Do you?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're on like the 17. I have no idea how they go around the corners.
It's insane, dude. The 48 is just hauling ass and
those guys
whipping
are
shitties.
miracle workers.
They are.
Every SEPTA driver is a fucking miracle worker. I'm surprised when the rapture happened a few weeks ago, they didn't all go to heaven.
Right.
Well, that's what the Republicans were
every
counting
one of
on.
them is a saint. But yeah. Well,
We learned nothing.
we learned
Same
nothing.
as always.
No, we're here to educate you.
That's right.
This is a lecture, not a discussion.
That's right.
Anyway, we have a segment on this podcast called Safety Third.
Shake hands for danger.
Hello, Justin, Liam, November, Devin, Gareth, Victoria, Joe, and June, among others.
This cast is getting too big. I don't even remember hiring some of these people.
And no mention of Sam. That's terrible.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah. My tale of woe comes to you from my childhood growing up in the small Central American country of Costa Rica.
It's supposed to be one of the most beautiful places on earth, and I want to go very badly.
This is a story of child endangerment,
Neat.
school-sponsored spelunking, and broad mismanagement.
So I think you'll be okay, Liam, so long as you don't go in a cave.
Yeah, don't go in a cave.
I'm not in a million years.
As the story is from my own childhood so long ago, some of the details are fuzzy, and I do not have pictures of the events themselves, but the trauma remains deep within me. And I do have pictures of the fucking cave, so I know in my heart my experience was real.
What do they do to this child?
Yeah, good God.
A little background. Costa Rica is a small Central American country bordered by Nicaragua and Panama. It has no army and amazing nationalized healthcare. It is 30% protected rainforest. The rest is also rainforest.
Googling
some of the best
LGBT
beaches
rights in Costa Rica. Googling Costa Rica immigration.
I understand it's very easy to immigrate to Panama, at least. It has some of the best beaches in the entire world, and when I remember those parts of my childhood, I genuinely almost forget the bad. But there is the bad, as we will see. My family moved to Costa Rica to escape the oncoming Great Recession and lived there for about 5 years afterwards. While there, we attended a small private school out in the jungle called Homeschool Beach Academy. I attended the first day the school was open, and at that time, the entire student body consisted of me and 3 other students in a large home in the middle of the jungle that had been renovated into a school. The school did expand rapidly, though, and by the time of our story, the student body was around 150 between the ages of 8 and 12.
Hang in there, bud. You're almost done.
Yeah. I will spare you a long diatribe about the many peculiarities of that school to cut to the point of today. The field trips.
Oh, okay. This is where the cave. They go in the hole.
Oh, yeah. Miss Frizzle shows up with the magic school bus, and you're like, oh, fuck.
God damn it.
Of course, now it's a microtransit.
Yeah, now it's a magic microtransit bus. Brought to you by Rideco. Dirty motherfuckers. I hate those guys.
Yeah. They neoliberalized the magic school bus. Fuck. They took the magic school bus and they scrapped them in the same scrapyard as all those engines from Thomas the Tank Engine.
Sodor now. All right, get on with it.
Taking the acetylene torch to the magic school bus. They show up next day. The magic Ford Transit van. Okay.
You fucker.
It's painted yellow, at least.
Oh my God, they killed him with his eyes open.
Homeschool Beach held one field trip a year, and each was its own kind of both amazing and harrowing experience. Our main story is the very last one I went on. I'll recount the others to the best of my ability. Number 1, going to see a parade where a random drunk guy ran from his car into the parade directly in front of my school group. The last thing I remember is my 6.5 foot tall, normally placid surf instructor / gym teacher charging at the crashed car and pulling the driver out of the pavement through the window of the car. Number 2, loading dozens of children onto tour boats that didn't have handrails and touring around a beautiful mangrove swamp that was visibly full of crocodiles and large carnivorous snakes.
Good.
Did you die?
Yeah, did you? No, you didn't, asshole.
Nah, you're fine. Number 3, going to see a lab developing plasma rockets, then walking 4 miles along a dirt road, swim at a waterfall, then walking 4 miles back in the heat, stopping for 30 minutes to pull out a Jeep that had been nearly swallowed by a part of the road.
I gotta be honest, this sounds like paradise on Earth, and the state healthcare system funds hormones, so I will be moving to Costa Rica imminently.
All right, cool. Get a better. You'll still have better internet somehow.
Yeah. But the last field trip I went on was a trip to the Barra Honda National Park and Cave.
Nope.
Seen here in images I managed to find on the Google. Our story begins at the top of the hour, 8 a.m. Unlike the previous field trips, the parents had badgered the principal into allowing them along to chaperone.
I want to accompany my child into the cave to die.
So in total, about 15 children, 6 parents, and at least 3 teachers. I dimly recall some ineffable scheduling fuck-ups and buses getting lost along the way to Barra Honda, but the details have lost me. All that means is we actually arrived at the park hours later than intended. Barra Honda itself is set in a beautiful mountainous jungle. The walk to the cave that at the time I did not know was our destination was a blur of the normal, amazing jungle scenery you get used to when you live in Costa Rica. But I still
you can't open this by being like, yeah, I'm from this shithole named Costa Rica where everything is fantastic, by the way.
And beautiful.
You fucker.
I still recall enjoying it and the various critters we saw. Yeah, I'm sure you befriended a leopard or something.
Yeah, congratulations, dickhead.
And then we got to the cave. As a child, the cave mouth seems so much larger than the images I have here, but if you all have an ounce of sense in your heads, you can plainly see that it's an open hell mouth right into a deep cavern.
Yeah, I'm not getting into this. I'll be honest with you. So far, paradise on earth, not hitting that ladder.
Yeah. A poorly welded, rusty, and moistened by the jungle humidity, God-forsaken metal ladder extended, nearly horizontal for part of the way, then dips down straight some 40 feet into the cavern below.
Fuck that. No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Actually, that's not a terribly long ladder. Well, I don't like how it looks.
Fuck you, Roz.
Costa Rican cuisine is generally not spicy. Okay, that's another big tick.
Yeah. What none of these pictures will show you is the one and single piece of safety equipment afforded to afforded to climbers, right? A small Costa Rican man with a bungee rope tied to a tree stands by the pit. While there were some complaints by the parents at this point, the derangement field of Costa Rica apparently prevented anyone from stopping the proceedings.
And it's got a derangement field. Better still.
Yeah. That'd make your podcast better, yeah. The order of the day is this. The small Costa Rican man has a slip knot in his rope. He will wrap that rope around you before you begin your harrowing descent, and as you climb, manually feed the rope down after you. Did I mention I have a fear of heights?
No.
It's fine. You're underground. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, your altitude is actually negative.
It's actually negative, yeah. I think the only reason anyone went through it was because it was nearly impossible to see how deep the hole was from where we stood around it. The long process of being lowered or climbing repeatedly for each child and adult took absolutely ages, and I was near the middle of the pack. The ladder, again, is made of partially welded old scrap metal and partially of old hardware store ladders, which had ended their life being recycled into a child endangerment device in a cave. All of it was wet and slightly slippery. The worst part was the rope guy. The small Costa Rican man with the rope does not know or really care how fast you are climbing down. He has a set speed. He is lowering the rope down through his slip knot to you. If you go slower than him, the rope falls onto you, and that means any fall will be worse for the drop. If you go faster than him, it's worse because of the way the rope is tied around your chest. It tightens painfully as you attempt to navigate a giant fucking rusty cave ladder.
Ugh.
There was a harrowing spot on the ladder where the cave fully meets it on a thin welded metal rung, leaving about 2 inches of space to place your feet as you climb down. Then, of course, the rope runs out before the ladder does. The safety rope runs out about 4 to 6 feet before you reach the end of your journey, meaning that in the case of the children climbing down, you needed an adult to help you climb the last few wettest steps onto the slick cavern floor. fact that no one was injured in the 2 hours it took to get the whole group down that fucking hole was a miracle. Once inside, the cave was quite nice as they go. While quite slimy, the cavern's mouth is large enough to be well lit, and even while we were corralled into a smaller area, we could see plenty of interesting rock formations. And then we went a little deeper.
Oh, no. No.
Nope.
Our second hellmouth of the day presents as a dark, wet hole a little smaller than a normal manhole. It's the only way to go deeper into the cave, and it's just a little too small.
Not only no, but fuck no.
It's just a little too small to carry a decent light source down with you. I do not precisely remember the instructions shouted at me as I clambered down, but it involved a precise sequence of hand and foot placements on natural and extremely wet handholds to navigate 4 feet down onto another ladder, so it is stuck in place, which went the next 4 feet down. This part of the tour has some really cool looking stalagmites and stalactites, which is picture 6. I didn't number these. I don't remember which one I put where.
Please, when you are sending in your safety thirds, wtyppod@gmail.com, remember they are the thing we will do last, and we will be sleepy.
And also kind of drunk.
Exactly. Yeah. And also, don't send weird formats of pictures. I had to resave a bunch of these in Earth and View in order that I could get them in here. Anyway.
I feel great.
And also a part where the cave guides switch off all their lights so you can experience true and complete darkness. Then you have to climb back up.
I don't want to experience true and complete darkness, and I especially don't want to climb. Well, I do want to climb back up in the sense that I want to be out of the cave, but I don't want to climb the fucking snaky.
I don't want to be in a situation where I have to climb back up because it's like an escape room. I've already beaten all of them because I
never go in and never go. Yeah. I feel good.
Yeah. As I understand it, the tour was meant to go on for longer, but it didn't because my own mother finally put her foot down. It had taken us so long to get everyone down, and it was getting late. The children were already getting tired. No one but her apparently thought climbing up the big, stupid ladder was going to take longer. And we ran out of water down there, which quickly became its own problem. And so up we went. Even with the dim assistance of gravity, climbing up that fucking ladder was torture. Remember the rope guy, the way you'd have to keep pace with him, or he dropped the rope down after you. Now you were climbing up. He doesn't know or really care that a dehydrated and exhausted child is down at the bottom of fucking Tartarus. He's pulling his rope up until he feels it stop. The climb down is hard enough with the fickle assistance of gravity, but now the children must fight up 40 fucking feet of rusted ass ladder while having the life squeezed out of them. I was crying my eyes out halfway up.
Oh, buddy.
The invocation of another miracle prevented any injuries here too. And because I was obviously distraught and severely dehydrated by that point, me and a few other students got to ride a truck back to the start of the trail instead of walking back, which is my last real memory of these events. The fact that I do not have a phobia of caves or some kind of panic disorder about these events in my childhood is honestly astounding. They never held another field trip in the time I was at Homeschool Beach, which we might imagine is for the better. I do not know if the school still exists, as I have checked and never found it online.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, it's probably for the better.
The past is a joke and we can't see the punch. The past is a joke we can't see the punchline to, and misery does not make us stronger people. Peace be with you all. From Leaf.
Thanks, Leaf.
Thank you, Leaf. Yeah, I'm not seeing any evidence that suggests to go in the cave from this. Don't go in the cave.
No,
don't go in the cave.
Yeah. Well, that was safety third.
Shake hands with danger.
I guess that wasn't a workplace injury. Although I guess, hold on, going to school a workplace?
Well, then we're
count
getting into like other forms of labor again, right? So
We don't have time for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know. Fuck homework. Hate that shit.
It's pointless.
Compensated.
Anti-bedtime action. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, to be fair, this podcast kind of is anti-bedtime action in that we routinely keep me up until like 3 a.m.
Well,
yeah, that's true.
That's because you were out drinking. It's not my fault.
It is 14 minutes past midnight, which is to say that the world has been nuked a lot, and I'm ready for bed.
Speaking of nukes, our next episode will be on Chernobyl. Does anyone have any commercials before we go?
Yeah,
Listen
stay
to all
tuned
of the
for a special
podcasts.
announcement.
Yeah, and stay tuned for that.
Yeah, special announcement will be coming.
A couple
soon.
of them actually, because like
Yeah.
I've been thinking often in my life that I really want to hear about buildings more.
Oh,
so
yeah. Well, that's
just
gonna
think
be
about that.
That's gonna be a whole thing. We're working on how to do that. That's not gonna come out for a while because that's not a podcast. That's a
It's
show.
something.
I'm really
Yeah.
excited about it, Roz.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Also, I want to put out this call just because, this is not immediately important, but because of the way United States immigration law works, if there were hypothetically another live show, obviously with the current political climate, it would be very difficult. But the next Democrat is also not going to fix these problems.
No,
It's very difficult to get Nova over here.
it's
with
true.
the
I keep
current
saying things
structure
like
of-
"goddamn America," and I
Yeah.
keep spelling America with three
Cook.
Ks, and I keep posting memes of JD Vance with the propeller hat. So yeah.
But even then, one of the things we do need for that to hypothetically happen in the future is for journalists to write articles about us.
That is
If
absolutely
you are a
true.
journalist, please write some articles about us. I'm gonna. So anyway,
Yeah, thanks.
yeah, we make a lot of money. We have no press.
We're a sleeper hit. We're your favorite podcast.
Yeah, exactly. We're like the Velvet Underground of podcasts.
Much less heroin use.
Yeah. There's some dark stuff in there. That's all right. End this so I can have my nice bourbon.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
That was fucking fun as hell.
Well,
Yes,
that was
I agree.
nice. I
It was a good time.
enjoyed that one.